All right, so where do we leave off? An airship was coming at us or something?
Yes, so you guys are leaving the Eye of the All-Father, the Temple of the Giants,
Mhm.
and as you guys are exiting, you saw uh, a shape in the sky approaching you, and it's like it just from the outline, it looks like a gigantic round shape, and then underneath it looks like if you were looking straight on from looking at a ship sailing towards you. It's like kind of got like that bow and that
Hmm.
curve to a boat. And it continues, it gets closer and closer and closer, descending while it does out of the sky. And it reaches about, uh, you know, probably a little bit farther off left than this map goes, just a bit outside of the temple. And it's about 50 feet off of the ground. And now that you see it, you can get a really good look at it. It looks like it's like a gigantic, hot air balloon
Mm-hmm.
on top of basically what would be like the hull of a ship, and underneath that it has like these sort of like skis almost like you would see, like imagine like Santa Claus's sleigh, like those sort of pointed skis at the front.
It's a Christmas zeppelin.
Basically.
Yeah.
And as it comes to a rest, I mean, you could see this like the light of a flame from underneath the hot air balloon, and you see two sets of rope ladders drop down on either side of the ship, and they reach all the way to the ground.
Hmm. Am I too far away to get a sense? Like, can I detect humans or orcs or
Yes.
giants? Okay.
Yes, you do detect several humans on board.
Okay.
Um,
So it could be anything.
about
Like
8 of
anyone on
them.
board?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So as they are approaching, you can see figures on the deck. Some of whom are sort of like, uh, you know, positioned in a way where they'll see you while they're approaching, and they sort of seem to be beckoning you with their arms. They're sort of like waving you on board.
Interesting.
Huh. Okay. Um, are how many do I detect? Is it roughly like a dozen?
8. 8
Eight. Okay,
exactly.
eight. Okay. All right.
Hmm.
Are we close enough to talk to them at this point, or are they still somewhat far away?
I mean, the wind is howling in this
Okay.
gigantic ice, mountainous sort of range. But if you
Gotcha.
want to, you could try to yell up to them to sort of converse with them.
Okay.
Where's
Um.
the ladder?
It's two ladders dropped off of either side, like little rope ladders,
Mhm.
all the way to the ground.
Hmm.
And is it just in front of us, or is it?
It's
Yeah,
it's
like
further away.
it's maybe like we'll say like 100 feet in front of you and about 50 feet up, something like that,
All right, I
And
or
run
maybe not
towards
even
it.
that.
they're waving at us to come up.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Should we investigate?
Uh-huh.
I'll go up
Probably.
the ladder.
All
I'll
right.
go up the ladder.
Same.
All right. Well,
Yeah, why not?
let's go
Why not?
investigate. See what's going on there.
Okay. So this map is going to give you sort of a cross view of what it looks like, and then also this is the deck of the ship as you guys.
Dragon cult.
Wow.
These guys.
I like the name.
Maybe should have covered that up, but whatever, it's fine. So as you climb onto the ship, the what appears to be like sort of the leader of this crew, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
approaches you and bows deeply, and he says, "We come to you on behalf of Clouth, the great dragon of the north. Clouth offers you this vessel and our services as a gift, so that you may cross his vast dominion while avoiding the many perils of the land below. War against the giants is inevitable, but the great dragon commands you forge ahead and face your destiny. The ordering of the giants is broken, and they are not united. Slay their leaders, and you may yet prevail. If you succeed in quelling this giant threat, Clouth bids you to come to his hidden vale so that he may reward your bravery." And he stands up from his bow.
Interesting.
Oh, cool.
Ooh.
So, just so I understand what's going on here, this dragon is offering us this airship to help us in our quest against the giants. Is that the general gist of it?
Yes, and if you were to sort of ask that question in sort of different terms, we'll say,
Okay.
to this gentleman speaking to you, he would say, "Yes, Klauth has been watching you and Harshnag with great interest, and he believes that his goals are aligned with yours."
Interesting. Can I roll an insight check just to see if there's anything afoul here?
Sure.
Okay. Let's see here.
How much? What's my insight at?
Okay.
What is my insight?
That would be an 18.
May I also ask what type of dragon Cloud is?
Good
Like-
question. Okay, one thing at a time, though. So Saberwolf, we'll say that everything that he's saying appears to be true. This is definitely this vessel of Klauth, and he has given it to you to sort of continue your actions, we'll say, against the giants.
I
But
see.
go ahead and everybody who's interested, give me, we'll say, a history check.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yuck. My
Yeah,
history
well, I
sucks.
get a
Yeah,
negative.
I'm
Mine
two
does
at history.
too.
Hold on.
Well, you
I
got
have
one.
a
There you go.
negative.
Well, that's a 20.
Okay.
Good job.
So
Right.
all of you guys, when he says that, Klauth, it's like, have I heard that name before? I'm not sure. But,
he got a 20.
well, let me finish.
Sorry.
But Bernane says, is thinking to himself, Klauth, I know this name. This name is an ancient red dragon.
Oh,
Perhaps one of the most powerful red dragons in existence. Certainly he would tell you so if you asked him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I will just give you guys this without any kind of check. But you guys know, and I'm not sure if I've explained this to you properly before. I think I have, but it was a long time ago. Chromatic dragons, like red, blue, white, black, those are generally considered to be the evil dragons.
not known for their altruism, obviously.
Right. Metallic dragons, like your silvers, your bronzes, gold, all that kind of stuff. Those are the good dragons, typically.
Hmm.
So that
What is the-
was going to be my next question. Like, how reputable is this red? Based on the history check, do we know how reputable this red dragon is? But it sounds like he's aligned with evil. So I don't want to. If there's 8 of them, I don't want to like piss these people off and be caught in this battle.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll ask them: Does your master have any other requirement other than to slay these dragons? Does he have any agenda that we're not aware
Right.
Yeah, giants.
of? The
Gotcha.
giants. That's what I meant. Yeah.
They say, no, he simply wanted to impart this gift upon you to help or relieve your struggle, we will say, to as much as possible.
I see. And what is his interest in the giants? Why does he care so much about saving the lands, from the giants? Like, what is his stake in all of this?
That's an excellent question. So, go ahead and everybody make another history check.
Oy.
Okay.
Oh, I was about to do something, but
It's one more than my last one.
Well, what do you want to do, Vinny?
Oh goodness.
I was thinking maybe I could try to use Thieves' Can on them.
What?
Oh,
I don't think that's gonna work here.
yeah, these aren't your typical thieves. These guys are
Oh, okay.
essentially
Because I was
like
thinking maybe
worshippers.
they would understand it. Think about it.
No. These are not like your typical street
Because
thieves.
what I'm thinking is, if this guy is "quote unquote" evil, you have to change your thinking. If he is evil,
He's
Think
also
about
the G, Benny.
I know but if he has evil intent, because why would he just randomly start giving us freedom for no reason? You know what I mean? Like, he has no reason to help us.
Okay.
Unless
We're getting to that. Remember,
To
I asked
answer
the
that question, let me address the
Okay.
history check we all just did. So, Pony, I swear you must have heard songs about this, but there's just so many songs,
Yeah.
But
So much.
Saberwolf, and this is a pretty widely sort of known thing, although it's more of like a tale of yore more than like whatever. But like hundreds, many years ago, the dragons and the giants fought a epic like war against one another. They were basically vying for supremacy of the realm, essentially, to where they were basically the only creatures that could stand against one another. You know what I mean? The small folk at that point were so underdeveloped and all that sort of thing that they were just a fourth. They were an afterthought. But the dragons and the giants basically grew their empires, and before the these current times where there's human settlements all over the place, it was a lot of giants. It was like the giants basically ruled the world, and they were beginning to encroach upon the dragons' territories. So basically, after so many small conflicts, a full-fledged war was basically launched against one another, where both sides were so incredibly weakened that they never fully recovered. And that's why they aren't basically controllers of the realm now, because they basically destroyed each other. So both sides are basically a fraction of what they once were.
And now the Red Dragon sees that the giants are vulnerable due to this internal conflict and is kind of seeking our help in pressing on that advantage, I think. So I think the Red Dragon is, I don't want to say using us, but he's definitely making use of the fact that these giants are in inner turmoil right now. And he's hoping to gain, if we defeat the giants, then the dragons, especially this red one, will be free to get more land, riches, whatever it is that the evil dragon wants. So it's up to us folks. Like, do we play along with this red dragon, just use the airship for a while, and then figure out what to do later? Or do we deny their help and just go on our merry way?
Can I ask if they have any ties to the green dragon?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
To-
the one guy.
Just in general, you mean?
Yeah, like to anyone within earshot. Does your master who sounds who has the name of like a foot fungus, does he have like any ties to the green dragon?
You will not dishonor our master with
I was
that.
just kidding. Listen, I'm the comedic relief, you kind of gotta take it.
And you could tell, actually, just by their demeanor, it seems like these people are like almost completely void of like comedy. You know what I mean?
Oh man.
Like
They're
any kind of
cults.
joke is just going to bounce right off of them.
It's a cult, hun.
Yeah, they've been there's like no happiness in this group. They just seem to be focused entirely on serving their master, essentially.
Audience.
But to your question, they say Klauth controls a domain over many lesser dragons, but he wouldn't ally himself with any, if that's your question.
I see. Okay, cool. Thanks.
Do we know if these folks have enemies amongst the towns that we visited already? Like, by aligning ourselves with these people, would we then create enemies in places we've already been?
That's what I was thinking.
I mean, it's a complicated question because, like, if you guys were to, like, just walk into a town, you know what I mean? And unless you started just talking about how, like, oh, man, we are serving Klauth, the Great Red Dragon, you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Other than that, like, I don't think anybody would be any
Okay.
of the wiser anyways.
That's cool. Do we require their assistance? Like, do they need to remain on board to pilot this thing, or is piloting this ship something that we could do on our own?
I would say that it couldn't. It's not something you could just pick up and do.
Okay.
If you guys want to like watch them and see how they operate this thing, you might be able to learn how to do it yourself.
That might be a good idea. Maybe use these guys as red shirts. I'm talking to them privately, of course. Maybe use them as red shirts in the upcoming quests that we have, and then at some point,
Part ways.
Yeah, exactly. Now, if this red dragon, I guess, let me ask you this. I'm addressing them. You guys said that you were watching us for a while now. Were you watching us specifically, or is this red dragon have some kind of magical ability to watch whatever we're doing?
So he'll reply to you. The Great Klauth has the ability to see what he wants to see.
I see.
But in realistic terms, you would think that to mean he probably just has the ability to scry.
Scry. Okay. So if we do anything to these people, the red dragon will know that we did something to them. So in a roundabout way, we're gonna have to. I don't want to say get them killed.
I don't want them like harming Horse Nugget either. Like he's been good
Horse
to us.
snag. Yeah.
Yeah, the frost giant.
Yes. Well, he did say that the reason that he even became aware of you guys is because you were traveling with Harshnag, who he had been sort of following, because
I see.
he is fighting giants himself. You know what I mean?
So
Yeah,
do we
so why don't
play?
just
Mhm.
let's play along with them and just let them take us to where we need to go. Maybe they could even help us in combat.
Yeah. In my insight
we all
check,
die.
did I detect any like signs of betrayal? Like were they going to go back on their word at some point and just slaughter us while we sleep? Did I get any sense of that?
I'll say with your 18, and just based off of like sort of the conversation and how they seem to be presenting themselves,
Mm-hmm.
it seems like you get the feeling that what he said is true. They were sent here by Clouth to essentially fly this ship for you and take you wherever you want to go.
Okay.
And they seem to be the type that they would never betray their master's orders.
I see. All right. So as long as we keep Clouth happy by doing the giant stuff, which we are doing anyway. So like they said, like the cult people have said, our interests are kind of aligned right now. We're helping the dragons become more powerful by weakening the giants. So they're going to help us. So as long as we help them, we just have to keep an eye on, once we start restoring balance to the giants' order, I think these people are going to be less happy about that. So we just need to be careful about what we say to them while we're doing our things. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
But yeah, do we all want to play along with this so far and let them fly
I'm
us
good with
to
it.
our next destination?
Yep, I'm good with that.
All right.
Sounds like a good story.
Okay. All right.
Yep, I'm game.
I don't remember what we talked about in Discord, but where was the next place we were going to get that relic or whatever?
Okay. Before let me. Okay, I'm gonna move you to
Sure.
the map.
Sure.
Um.
It's like Great Worm, Raven Rock, Shining White, One Stone or something.
Yeah. Shining White One Stone.
Now let me explain this to you guys because here I'm gonna show you guys something.
Okay.
This is the player's map that was officially given by this module.
Mm.
So it's actually bigger than the map that I'm showing you guys, and it also has absolutely nothing on it except for roads.
Okay.
So
Oh.
I found a map that sort of at least gave you some stuff, but tried to hide some of the spoilery type stuff,
I see.
which is the map that we're on now. But it doesn't cover the entire map because it was actually like too big.
Gotcha.
So, anyways, like Raven Rock is over here. This is actually cut off, but up here is where the Great Worm Cavern is.
Okay.
Shining White is over here, and then what was the other one? One Stone is over here. So they're all pretty much in the northern, we'll say, hemisphere.
Okay. Yeah, it's fine. And had we figured out if gaining more than one relic for particular giant type was beneficial to us at all, or is it just sufficient just to get one relic for each?
You're not sure, really.
Okay, gotcha.
I think the wording of the Oracle was something to the effect of like the more relics you gain, the more pathways will open for you, or something along those lines.
To me,
Yeah.
that would indicate for every relic we bring back of one type, then a portal opens probably to that particular realm. That's how I'm taking it. But no, that's cool. So was it the Worm Cavern that we had decided on, or
Yeah, it was the closest one,
okay?
and that was one of them. So
Alright.
the one that I think it was Pony and we were trying to figure it out. I think we ended on, what was it?
I'm trying to.
What
Great.
was the
It
map
says
called?
Great
Great
Worm.
Worm,
Yeah.
Raven Rock, Shining White, and then One Stone. That would get us one of each of the
Mm-hmm.
relics.
Which one do you have prepared, Nick? Because I know that there's probably a lot of preparation involved here. Do you have any in particular that you have prepared? Was it Stone Stand that you had prepared first, or? Uh-oh, did my Discord cut out?
No,
Hello?
I hear you.
Oh,
Okay.
I hear you. Nick?
Oh, I freaking muted myself somehow. That's why. I'm so
Oh,
sorry.
no, you're fine. I'm like,
I'm sitting here talking. I wonder how long I've been muted for.
It
Ugh.
happens.
Happens to everyone.
it's all good.
Ugh. Okay, so I have all 4 of those. I have Great Worm, Raven Rock, Shining White, and One Stone all prepared.
Okay. Where do you guys want to go first?
I think we were closest to one worm. The order
Yeah,
that
I
we had
think
it just
so.
puts it like
Yeah.
in a circle.
Yep.
Okay.
Now, you guys also remember, now, just as like sort of a little summary, all of these places are basically settlements of Uthgardt barbarians. Those same people that you met at the entrance to the Eye of the Allfather.
Okay.
And if you remember, the Great Worm tribe was the ones that were actually at the entrance. So you're going now to the Great Worm Cavern. So you think that this might be their home.
Oh,
Oh,
interesting.
cool. Glad we helped them.
Yeah, but if they have the relic, they may not be wanting to give that up. But if we can use that whole friendship thing and get it back easy, that's fine with me. Okay.
Well, don't they already know what we're doing?
I don't think they know what we're doing. They just know
Yeah.
that we were at the temple and we saved one of their own and they left. I don't think they know why we were there.
Oh, I got confused. Sorry, I was scared.
No, it's cool. We rescued the girl, brought her out, and they left. And then we went inside. So I don't think they know what we were there for. They just know that we had a giant with us, and they were kind of like scared about that. But
Should we ask about that ghost father or whatever? The one that killed him?
oh yeah, I forgot about that. He wanted us to find.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't hurt to just ask around, right?
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll tell our cult people to fly us to the was it the one worm or giant worm, whatever it is, great worm.
Yeah.
Great
We
Worm
can also
Cavern.
ask. We can also ask them about the ghost father or the father or whatever.
Yeah, I didn't write it down, unfortunately. If I did, I don't know where it is.
Oh no, I think
I don't think so. If I'm misremembering, then I apologize. But the ghost himself didn't have a great deal of information because he's basically just been dead in this temple.
Yeah.
Right.
So you don't have much to go off of on that front. It's just something that he asked you to do.
Okay.
Which is to find his father, right?
Correct. Find him and bring him to justice, essentially.
Yeah.
We can.
Oh, wait.
We could maybe do like Thief Chan and see if we can like figure it out using black like means. You know what I mean?
I was just gonna ask in general, like, do you know of anyone who visited the Allfather Temple in the past 100 years, and have you heard of like stories or rumors of someone who killed their son in there, like that? Just as general,
You're asking the
the cult people.
cultists?
Mm-hmm.
No. So they'll say no. We didn't even know of this temple until the Great Klauth ordered us here.
I see. Useless. I'm just kidding. I meant like my food is useless.
Wow.
I'll post that all the time. Don't worry. He's always like, "Oh, I'm gonna eat you if you don't do this." You know how they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Those crazy dragons.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So let's set a course for a Great Worm Cavern. Preferably set us down that's away from any sort of barbarian settlements, so that we aren't in the middle of a possible encounter.
Right.
Let's
Okay.
see.
So the airship doesn't travel terribly fast, but obviously faster than if you were on foot. So
Mm-hmm.
I believe, like, even with this distance, which is a pretty short distance, to get to the Eye of the Allfar to the Great Worm Cavern is about 45 miles.
Okay.
It's going to take you basically the whole day to get there.
Okay.
But as you are following this map that Harshnag basically gave you, you guys can see in the distance what must be a sort of large opening to a cavern. And the cultists do as you ask and bring you down, a decent bit far other way.
Okay.
And they don't land actually. They drop down to about 50 feet and lower the ladders for you.
Okay. I'm assuming that we were at a long rest during that trip.
Sure.
Okay. So if everyone, I know Vinny, I think, may have some damage. So I guess hit dice and spells and all that stuff. Go ahead and replenish temporary hit points back to 0.
Mm-hmm.
Do
All
I
that
hit
good
my hit dice to 7?
Yeah, whatever your max is.
Um, and the other thing is while you guys are traveling, you guys are taking your long rest. We'll also say that it gives you an opportunity to sort of study them as they are flying the ship if you want to try to learn a little bit more
Yeah.
about it.
Absolutely.
How do you do that?
We do that.
So everybody who's interested, just give me an intelligence check, just straight intelligence.
Okay.
Anything but intelligence.
I have a 0 in intelligence, but
I have a -1.
Oh, I actually have a decent. I have 3.
wow, good job.
Oh my god.
I have no idea what the heck they're doing.
I have a +3 in intelligence.
Same.
I have a 7 in dexterity and 3 in intelligence. Which is what I
Xana's
need.
still trying to figure out if we're actually on a ship or not.
That's
Good
funny.
job,
You're
Xana.
like, how does it work? Magic, duh. This is Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
Okay. So what you guys find, I'm going to move you back to the airship just for a second.
Okay.
So, you're watching them do their thing and watching them as they are like controlling the elevation and turning and all that sort of stuff. What you discover is that basically on the well, I'll reveal this to you because you guys would have seen all this stuff by now as well.
Mm-hmm.
Whoops, that is the opposite of what I wanted to do.
I saw nothing.
Okay.
Ooh.
So that's the lower
Oh,
deck
wow.
of the ship where there are quarters and supplies and all that stuff. But what you also see is, well, we'll start with the main deck, I suppose. So on the main deck, there's this like sort of right underneath the blimp where the fire is coming out of. You can see inside they actually have a basically trapped fire elemental. So it's like this living creature that's literally powering the
Wow.
the lift of the ship or the
Oh,
descent.
that's mean.
Oh wow.
And basically, like, there's a sort of like I don't think this is the right word, but we're going to go with like a flue at the top, where it basically will open, widen, or narrow depending on how much heat they want to actually release into the balloon to either make it rise or fall. Right here, in between these like stairs that lead up to the deck,
Mm-hmm.
is another trapped elemental, but this one's an air elemental, and this is what is giving them the ability to sort of steer where they're going rather than just going up or down. So there's another device that also sort of points. It's like the rudders on a ship, basically, directing the airflow to turn.
Are these elementals intelligent? I've never. Is that something we would know?
I don't think elementals are intelligent per se.
Like, how do they keep them in line? Is it through magical means, or are they just
They're
doing?
they just can't escape from these
I see.
Can we
chambers.
ask one of the workers about the elementals, or are we trying to be sneaky about it?
I don't think it would be any harm in asking, but
I mean,
I wouldn't reveal
can
to
we-
them that we're trying to learn how the
I
ship
would
works.
say they're learning. We could just be curious of, well, what are these?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And they'll pretty much explain what we explained. We use
Okay.
the fire elemental for lift and the air elemental for direction.
Can I ask how they captured one?
They said the ship was provided by the Great Clouth. I assume he either
Mhm.
did it or had it done.
Cool. All right.
Do we know if they're enslaved?
I would assume so. If
Well, you probably wouldn't think that they're there on their own free volition.
Let's free them.
Yeah, as we
mission.
free them, the ship drops out of the
Yeah.
sky and we
Right?
die.
Yeah. We all die. Exactly. Yep.
Well, I do have that polymorph spell. I could like turn into an eagle or a giant eagle or something. A
A
Pegasus.
Pegasus, yes.
Well, let's
No, you
just
become a giant phoenix.
at this point we're already on the ground.
Yeah, yeah.
But if we are learning,
okay.
so we learn that there's elementals on the ship and they're helping it not only stay afloat but steer. So that's what we've learned
Mm-hmm.
thus far.
And you have like a pretty rudimentary idea of how they control the things to descend, ascend, and
Okay.
turn.
Interesting. Okay, fair enough.
I'm a pilot.
All right.
Apparently.
I'll also say this too, since you guys would have noticed this basically as soon as you got on. The front of the ship has this enormous harpoon gun
Mm,
that can be manned in case of, some sort of
battle.
sky battle.
Gotcha.
And on the back, there's another ballista that also can be manned for the same reason, obviously.
Okay.
Probably
Can-
works well against dragons. Just saying.
Yeah. or anything else.
or anything else.
Yeah.
True.
An evil
Okay.
giant.
So you guys are descending now into the little valley where this gigantic cavern opens up. They lower down the ropes for you, and you can now descend to the ground.
Okay.
Let's
Um,
do it.
Okay.
Do I detect any humans nearby or any?
Yes, several inside of the cave. Many.
Okay,
Is
many.
there a different map? I don't know.
Sure. I'm going to move you to a map. You guys don't necessarily have to be standing where I have your tokens, but just
Okay.
so you guys have an idea of what you're looking at, I'm going to move you, okay?
Sure.